Off to the farm I go for some training. Had to watch the German Timber Sports Championships to give myself some motivation. I watched quite a bit of it up until the very end, and I don't know who won, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Took a day off yesterday for the first time in forever. I am a big-time biohacker, so I have my Fitbit that keeps track of my caloric output, and then I input my caloric intake. And I also recently purchased a heart rate variability monitor, and for the past 3 or 4 days my resting heart rate has been elevated and my heart rate variability has been going down. So that's an indication that my body is overreaching, so I needed to take a day off, and I did that, and I put myself on a caloric surplus yesterday for the first time in weeks, and today I'm going to have some fun. Training session is to always have a goal, and today's goal is sort of ambiguous in as much as I'm just out here to move. However, there are some things that I want to work on specifically within my events. For example, in a single buck, obviously keeping the saw straight is extremely important to me, but I'm also trying to engage my legs. The good Lord blessed me with a big, powerful set of legs. They're 32 inches in circumference, and so I got to freaking use those big boys. I can squat well over 600 pounds, and it's useless unless I learn how to use them and use them effectively. That camera angle that looks down the saw from the other side, as you can see exactly what's happening with great exaggeration at the back of the stroke. And I'm still bending a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as I was. This next angle I used to see where the saw was at relative to my shoulder. You want to keep it in your power zone, which is beneath your armpit, and so that's what I'm making sure of under here. I know a lot of guys in Oz saw with the saw real high, but there's a reason for that. That's because of the wood they're cutting. In softwood, you can't saw like that. It's a totally different type of sawing. So, yeah. I got a little 11-inch log. Going to climb on the same pockets just to save the tree because I only got one left. And again, I'm just working on getting my feet further apart so I can let the tree balls drop, as Will Brook would say. My timber sports career, you know that I am a shit stock sawyer. I'm a good chopper, excellent single hand sawyer, decent tree. Hot saw, yeah, I can run a hot saw. I can run a hot saw really well. I'm not a mechanic. However, stock saw has been the bane of my existence in my timber sports career, so I've spent a lot of time to 2020 getting better at it. And so right now, my dumb ass is going to go stock saw in the rain because that's what it takes. And I'm going to do it. Just under 14-inch sugar maple, hard maple, silver maple, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm not sure how it's going to cut because it's been down for a while. Normally when maple has been down, the water goes out of it, but this thing weighs like 150 pounds, so I don't think the water's gone. I'm just going to cut half and half because I'm working on my down hits, trying to get my
my arm in the line of sight so that I can make sure that I'm good and high. So whatever. It's a mystery oak of sorts. It's 17 inches one way, about 15 the other. I'm not sure what it is. I'm just going to try and stay on it and put a front in it. That's all I want. For an underhand as much as I ate to, but this is about a 16-inch black oak. I'm just going to cut a half at a time. The things I'm working on is consistent with what I've worked on all summer, which is a long swing, in addition to getting my left hand high and then getting my right elbow sort of in front of my forehead. But I'm also wanting to engage my legs a little bit more, because at the last session I noticed that when I really deliberately snapped my knees, the axe just sounded better in the wood. We all have to find our own way in order to optimize our swings and to optimize how we hit the log. And perhaps that's something I've not been doing, is really engaging these big hammocks I stand on and walk on. So here goes. I'll strength cut this to the other side of this little bastard, so here we go. Pretty good session. You know, Mike Ash was watching some of the videos that I post on Instagram and Facebook story, and he made a comment that I needed to bring my feet further forward in the underhand, particularly my right foot when I'm doing my offhand hits, so that I can get my feet square on the log, and so that I can use my hips and legs more. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely have to do that. So that's something that I'm going to work on next session. I'll probably start out with an underhand, or work on the underhand first, just to see if I can make sure I can do that. There is no try, there is only do. But you know, every session you try and improve, you try to work on specific things. And I just have another thing on my list that I want to work on. I'm pretty confident that I'm hitting the log with straight arms, and I'm getting my hips up when I'm striking the log, which means I'm extending my legs. But I need to get my feet further forward so that I can order it to initiate the acceleration into the log, which totally makes perfect sense. Great analogy. So here games afoot. Won't be back out until Wednesday. Right now I've got to work from home on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll come out here on Wednesday, and then hopefully be meeting with witnesses on Thursday and Friday for depositions the following week. So you know, we're getting back more into some live testimony. So you know, life somehow has to come back to some semblance of normal, even for some of us. So stay well, stay sane, and stay healthy.